So recently, after becoming famous thanks to Twilight's printing of the Friendship Journal, the CMC decided to open a Cutie Mart camp based out of Applejack's old childhood campgrounds at Camp Friendship. Gathering up blind flames from all over Ponyville, the CMC decided that it would be fun to try and help several of the young foals learn all sorts of different varieties of activities all in one weekend so that they could all spread out, try a little bit of this and that, and make some new friends in the process. Things were working fine at first. They even got results, helping one particular pony who enjoys painting circles to get her cutie mark in doing haiku, which only goes to prove that you don't always get a cutie mark in something that you like, but you will get a cutie mark in something that you are meant to be doing. And, just because you get a cutie mark in something that you don't necessarily like doing doesn't mean you have to give up doing the things you love. However, there was one pony in particular, Rumble, the younger brother of Wonderbolt Fenderlane, who didn't quite understand the whole cutie mark situation and thought that getting cutie marks meant that you had to be stuck in a box doing one thing for the rest of your life and that you'd have to give up all of your fun activities. No matter how many times the CMC tried to tell him that you don't have to give up the stuff you enjoy just because you get a cutie mark in something else, he was so afraid that getting a cutie mark in anything that he didn't want to do for the rest of his life would make him give up his dreams, that he took over the entire camp and pulled the foals out of Cutie Mark Camp and took them to Blind Flames Forever Camp. But when Blind Flames Forever Camp led ponies to doing activities that could potentially get them cutie marks, he ordered them all to do absolutely nothing all day, which quickly became boring. The ponies at Blind Flames Forever Camp eventually left and went back to Cutie Mark Camp when a Wonderbolt, namely Thunderlane, his Rumble's older brother, came over to the camp to put on a show and hang out with the younger ponies. Defeated, Rumble gave in and went to hang out with his brother and do Wonderbolt stuff, only to find out from his brother that just because Thunderlane has a cutie mark in speed and is a great Wonderbolt doesn't mean he can't do things that he enjoys, such as cooking. After learning that bit of information, Rumble started doing other things in addition to Wonderbolt training and started to learn and embrace new skills that he might also be able to someday enjoy as well. This was an interesting episode, one of the better ones, not one of the best ones, but not one of the worst ones either. It was pretty much enjoyable, and I've enjoyed it on multiple watchings now. Some of the things that I enjoyed about this was the expanding and explaining of Cutie Mark lore, which is something that we've had from all sorts of different perspectives. The CMC have obsessed over getting cutie marks. Magical Mystery Cure shows us what cutie marks do when they are handing out the wrong destinies. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon have bullied ponies for not having cutie marks. Starlight Glimmer shows us what happens when all cutie marks were made equal and ponies weren't allowed to express their special talents. And among other events that I might be forgetting, we now have Rumble showing us what it's like when ponies embrace their blank flank selves and keep themselves an open book to be whatever they want to be. in a way, a pony who embraces being a blank flank is the exact opposite of Diamond Tiara, who tears ponies down for the very same reason. It would have been interesting to have had the pre-reformed Diamond Tiara go up against the proud to be a blank flank Rumble back in the day, but we can't sit around regretting things that aren't happening in this episode and wishing for things to be different. Sure, it would have been nice to have had Diamond Tiara or Starlight Glimmer repeating their cutie mark philosophies to Rumble, but that really wasn't needed, and we got the whole story going through pretty well, and including a rather interesting, what I guess you could call a villain song. Even if Rumble wasn't really a villain, he was certainly an antagonist. The other fun thing that we got from this episode was getting to see Thunder Lane and younger brother Rumble, both with speaking roles, and Rumble himself with a song included. We took two characters who were background characters who previously had few to no lines, almost no airtime, and we barely knew anything about them, and we gave them interesting personalities, voices, things to do, backstories, and a whole bunch of other information. So now we truly understand Thunder Lane and Rumble as characters, as opposed to just seeing them in the background. So it was really good for that. It sort of shows you that My Little Pony, perhaps in the future, could have occasional episodes that feature even more of the background ponies. Perhaps in the future, we might have an episode dedicated to Roseluck or Golden Harvest, or possibly to Lyra or Bonbon, or maybe episodes built around Twist or Button Mash, or any number of other background characters whose names I can't quite remember off the top of my head. There are so many different ponies who we could have as side characters within the plots that the other main characters get to go on. We could learn more about this one and that one and so forth, and make those characters a little bit more interesting than they have been up until now. I guess you could say in the comments section below which background ponies, of the really true background ponies, the ones who have either had no lines or have had very, 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 very few lines, or even extremely limited airtime, even the less attention that has been put into the background pony, the more interesting it would be to see them in their own episode, even if it's just as a supporting character, whether they be Wonderbolt or Royal Guard or local shop owner. Give some suggestions below, and maybe Season 8 or Season 9 or something will finally grant your wish. Until then, that's about all I have to say about that. Thank you for watching, and good night.